What they do, all of my gram addicts out there. And before we take this dive into one of the last remaining tracks off of the Hunting Season album, I just want to let y'all know I just released the project Bass, Brass, and Silver Slugs, available on all the streaming platforms. Do your boy a favor, show some love, take a gander into this album. It's very unique, and I'm very proud of it. Now, let's get into this hunting season because we are still celebrating the 10th year anniversary, even though I just dropped a new project. And this is the second to last song on the Hunting Season album. It's called Illusion of Change. Let's spark this off with the production. This track was produced by Draz of Citation Sounds. This was the second track off of the Hunting Season project that he had a hand in on the production. I fell in love with this beat from the moment I heard it. The drum break, the strings, and then the Radiohead sample. Yo, Radiohead is one of my favorite rock groups, and this is obviously a very noticeable sample. Hopefully I never get sued. But yeah, man, this I knew I wanted to lace this from the moment I heard it. Can't remember exactly if I begged Draz for this beat or not, but shout out to the homie for, blessing your boy and allowing it to be on my project. It's definitely a real tight joint that ties the whole album real nicely together. Almost this is the second to last track on the project, you feel me? And this was recorded and mixed at New Era Studios with Osni. I think there was only really 3 tracks off of this album that were recorded with Osni at New Era Studios. So big ups to Osni, great engineer, very talented. So let's get into the verses with this, man. Now, the verses on this is only 2 verses and there's no hook. And I gotta tell you, 2013, that had me going through mad guilt trips. Like, I felt like such a lazy rapper for doing that. Because in that era, it was still, you gotta have 3 verses on a track. You gotta have a hook. If not, are you really built for this? That was the pressure we were under as MCs. These days, 116 and a hook is more than enough. And a track with just 2 verses and no hook, people accept that like the norm. But in those days, it was frowned upon. And I felt some kind of, I was kicking, up until recently, I stopped kicking myself over it. But literally, I had a guilt trip over that shit for the longest time. So and when you listen to the verses, that first verse I'm talking about Obama, how he was in office, and with Orion Esperanza, I dropped that in 2008, and there was some political, social commentary throughout that album. This album was way more political, social commentary going on throughout the whole album. And in this song, I was just highlighting how we, elected Obama. We got him in office. We thought all these changes was coming, and not much really changed. It was kind of the same old operation going on. Business as usual, corrupt politicians at the helm. The Patriot Act continued, and that's what I go into on the second verse of this. Is talking about the Patriot Act, the surveillance state, and what we were facing as a country. I make mention in that second verse about how Fahrenheit 9/11 outsold a movie like Kill Bill, and that was just to illustrate my point that we're becoming more aware. There was a zeitgeist of information bubbling with social media and YouTube really starting to explode, and there was an awakening happening, but at the same time there was a lot of people falling for an illusion of change. I like the way that the track flows. I'm glad I didn't overdo it with a third verse. Now looking back at it, this is not a song that makes me cringe. You know what I mean? As I've spoken about this before, as an artist, it's only natural that occasionally you're gonna have some songs that make you cringe when you listen to them. This one does not fit that. In fact, I love the way this song came off. Nothing I would necessarily change about this joint for sure. So go peep it. Hunting Season is available on all the streaming platforms, as I keep reminding y'all. This is the 10th year anniversary, and this is literally the second to last track. So my next video that I do will be the very last video that I do recapping and touching on some of the behind the scenes things with these tracks and stuff. So, big shout out to everybody that's been going back and listening to the hunting season, and everybody that's been, watching these videos and, putting up on my droning ass voice. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, repost, share, comment, all that. Lastly, once again, make sure you go check out Bass, Brass and Silver Slugs, new project from myself, Orion. Peace.